Hi everyone. You have to excuse me. I'm in a bit of shock at the moment. Hi Karen M in the chat. Glad you could join us. I'm in a bit of shock at the moment because look at this. That video I did about Prince Andrew. They've monetized it. You see? A little green. How'd that one slip through the net? Wow. Hi everyone. So, yeah, viewers' questions. I haven't got too many. This is the second one. I've only got a couple of questions from last week that people have asked, so I'm going to answer them and maybe just talk a little bit about a couple of other things as well in the stream at the moment. Hi Darren, hi Titch, hi Jay. So, the first one, I guess, let's get straight to it. Are you worried about the future of YouTube? Yes, is the truth. My reach has been, well, let's face it, it's been killed. I'm only reaching now a third of, probably less than a third actually. Probably about a sixth, to be honest, of what I was reaching before Julian Assange sent me a letter. Now, that kind of suppression, obviously, that's over and above. But I've documented, just on my videos on here, how Theresa May, for instance, how she was setting the wheels in motion for the censorship of speech online. And I've also covered how they did it in the Senate as well, and how they've used the fake news narrative to crush good independent journalism. Not just independent journalism, but also anything that's anti-establishment. You know, I'm not the only person who's seen it. There are many people who are bigger than me who have seen it much, much worse. I'm thinking, for instance, Consortium News, and then, you know, you see people like the Free Thought Project, how they were just kicked off social media. So, yeah, I worry terribly for the future of YouTube. There are new rules coming in the next month that basically mean that YouTube can kick you off their platform at any time if they believe that you are not advertiser friendly, which does just strike to the core of, you know, you can stop ads being shown on your channel, and they say if you turn that off, it doesn't affect the algorithm. But I mean, this is them saying that if you're not going to make us money, you're not going to we're not going to let you on the platform. Advertisers won't advertise on you, or, you know, we make it so advertisers won't want to advert on you. See what I mean? They make the rules. Yeah, they could kick you off. Kim, the platform that Kim.com, K.im, the platform that he's building, hopefully, sort of like an amalgamation of Twitter and YouTube. Hopefully, that will, I mean, they're saying it will be launched by the middle of next year, autumn next year. I'm hoping it will come sooner than that, because I really do think that pretty soon they're going to start kicking people like me off. They've certainly squashed my voice, you know. This is why I say, you know, you support independent media, because you know, if the truth just does not pay well. It really does not. And the powers that be put roadblocks in front of us at every single opportunity. And it's also why I say, you know, don't just support them financially, but share as well. Because a share, if you think about it, you know, sharing our stuff regular is more valuable than $1, $5 a month, because you might be sharing it to a new audience that, you know, maybe they share it. You can see what I mean. That's the only way that we're going to grow, is by word of mouth now. The algorithm is certainly not going to help the likes of me. It's certainly not going to put my thoughts into the mainstream, because truth is treason in the empire of lies. So yeah, I am very worried about YouTube, but at the moment there's nowhere else. I've looked at other platforms. I've looked at, I think it's Rockfin it's called, but they were all about money. It wasn't about exposure. I've looked at, there's others as well, BitChute and etc. But it's the audience, it's the massive amount of people on YouTube that it's benefit. And I think Kim at the moment is the best option, but we'll see. There are other ones. Like maybe I should start uploading to Minds as well in preparation. Certainly need to think about that, that's for sure. Here's the one question now. It's from GB January. Oh, by the way, that was from Shanoon. Thank you for your question. GB January, this is the big question. Who am I voting for? There's an election on the 12th of December. And honestly, I don't know. Is the honest truth. I don't know who I'm voting for right now. I'll have to look at the candidates in my area, but it may be the case of I go and I vote and I spoil my ballot. So we'll see. Let's face it, my Labour candidate, she didn't get back to me when I questioned the inaccuracies in her reply to me with regards to Julian Assange. She didn't get back to me at all. It's been over a month. And so she obviously doesn't care about, freedom, free speech, freedom of the press, human rights, etc., or my vote. And remember, she's also an MP who for the last 3 years has been actively campaigning for another referendum in an area that voted 2-1 to leave the EU. So my choices aren't good, but then nobody's choice is good, I don't think, in this election. Let me give you an example. Chris Williamson, who has had to basically quit the Labour Party so he can stand in this election, because he couldn't stand for Labour because they re-suspended him, breaking their own, basically making a mockery of their own NEC. Well, he's standing as an independent candidate. And what have Labour done? They're targeting him with a right-wing Labour candidate, Blairite candidate. Chris Williamson, MP for Derby North, has announced, this is from socialistparty.org. Chris Williamson, MP for Derby North, has announced that because of his ongoing suspension from the Labour Party, he has been forced to stand as an independent candidate in the general election. Tony Tinley, a Unite official who was being endorsed by the right-wing Labour First grouping, has been selected to stand in the constituency. So Labour are standing against a pro-Corbyn independent who is one of Jeremy Corbyn's closest allies. Labour are fighting against him with a Blairite right-wing Unite official. What, I keep saying the only way we're going to get any change in this country is with a mass movement of people. If we leave it up to the politicians, we won't get anything done. Especially if we leave it up to the political parties as they stand at the moment. I mean, look at them. I wouldn't trust them to bath my dog. I wouldn't trust them to do any of it. As for the media, this is the standard of our media in this country. Look at this. It's from Evolve Politics. They noticed this. The Daily Mail here reporting that murder victims will now be able to attend the parole hearings of their attackers as part of Boris Johnson's wonderful new crime policy. Murder victims who are dead. Murder and rape victims will get the right to attend parole hearings. Murder victims will get the right to parole hearings. That's the standard of our media in this country. Although, to be fair to the Daily Mail, they are the only outlet seemingly that wants to ask any questions about Jeffrey Epstein in this country. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. That's the honest answer. I want to quickly get to this though, because this was today. Rory Phibbs tweeted this out. They caught this. Just look at this from Liz Truss on the BBC today.
So, and you're going to have some policies on it too. You say you had a plan. You have a plan. You had a plan in 2014.
This is hitting them on their record on house building. I'll start this again. Because remember, they said they were going to build 200,000 houses.
So, and you're going to have some policies on it too. You say you had a plan. You have a plan. You had a plan in 2014 to build 200,000 new starter homes. That was 5 years ago. How many did you build?
Well, there haven't been as many starter homes as we would have liked.
How many did you build?
I don't have the exact numbers for you.
Well, it's easy to remember.
Watch the gulp.
Remember, it's zero. You built none under that plan. 200,000.
So, I mean, you know, on the one hand, you've got the Tory party who, let's face it, I mean, they're just evil. They're just pure evil. Look at that. Oh, yeah, we'll build 200,000 starter homes. They didn't build one. It's 5 years later. You know, they'll just say that they're going to do stuff. They have no intention of doing any of it. Anybody who is persuaded by it, I don't know what to say. I want to buy a bridge. But then you've got the Labour Party saying that they're going to do this, that and the other, and 2/3 of their PLP is Blairites. Who are, you know, Corbyn's opposition is in front of him, but his enemies, they're behind him, lining up, ready to stab him in the back. You know, so the Labour aren't going to get anything done. The Conservatives, anything they get done is just going to be evil. So, I got a political show that I talk about politics on, and I'm here advocating for, you know what, let's just burn it all to the ground. Because George Carlin says that the only way he thinks that there's going to be any kind of any kind of everlasting change, any kind of meaningful change in America or the Western countries is with massive bloodshed. I don't advocate it, but you know, I think it's the only way that things will get done, and things will change, and I think he's right. I think he was right about so many other things as well, but I think he's right about this. In this upcoming election, it doesn't matter who gets in. It really doesn't. I don't think it does. I don't think it matters. Because if you get the Conservatives, you just get more of the same horribleness, and if you get the Labour Party, you're just going to get more of the same divisiveness and not getting anything done. And meanwhile, the war machine goes on, the information war will go on, Jeremy Corbyn will carry on saying as little as he possibly can about you know, Julian Assange, and the MPs will carry on bullshitting the electorate about anything, you know, of importance with regards to his plight, and it'll just carry on until we get in the streets, until we get our yellow vests on ourselves. I can't see it radically changing. And I certainly can't see this election changing anything. One thing that will, I think, cause massive, that might change things. One thing that might change things over in America is the Russiagate investigation. And you've probably heard that but there's a report that's coming out after the election on they say it's Russia on Russia interference in Brexit, etc. But I think it's probably got something to do with this, because it's been announced that the Russia Probe Origins, the report on it, is going to be released on December the 9th. Now remember, this is an investigation that is now a criminal investigation, and two of the people who were interviewed in this report were Christopher Steele, as it says there, a former British intelligence officer who compiled a controversial dossier on alleged links between Trump and Russia for DNC presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and Democratic Party lawyers. This is the thing that started off. Christopher Steele was this whole, the dossier, this dirty dossier that alleged that Donald Trump had 2 prostitutes peeing on a bed in Russia. So he was one of the witnesses, and the other one was Joseph Mifsud, this mysterious Maltese professor who met with George Papadopoulos, who was a Donald Trump aide, a foreign policy aide, during the campaign trail when he was campaigning against Hillary Clinton. And he met with George Papadopoulos and introduced him at a meal. I've read his book, George Papadopoulos. I know. I spent hours on the train listening to his book. He met with George Papadopoulos and introduced him to what he called Vladimir Putin's niece. I shit you not. That's what this Joseph Mifsud tried to say to George Papadopoulos. This report that comes out on the 9th, we'll see what's going to happen, where this goes. Because it's a criminal investigation now. The investigation into the origins of the Russiagate investigation. I, for one, hope that they do their job, bar and Durham, and this comes out. I'm going to be doing more videos on it in the upcoming days and weeks. It's a really important story that's starting to come to the latter stages of it. We're starting to see some end game. So I'll keep up to date on that. I've also got another couple of things that's coming up over the next couple of days as well. There's a couple of videos I want to do about Jeremy Corbyn. Some nice videos about him. People have said that I've come down too hard on Jeremy Corbyn recently, so I'm going to do some nice, because he's not all bad, old JC. Actually, much better than the alternative, but like I say, he hasn't got the support in his PLP. Right. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I think that's it for today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Just jump into the chat, see how we're doing. Boris is part of the Russiagate. He and May spied on Trump's campaign, says Devon and Ivy. No, I don't think it was Boris. Boris has been photographed with Joseph Mifsud, as we know. But we don't know whether there was any meeting there, or it was just a photograph, Joseph Mifsud could literally just have been standing next to him. We don't know. What we do know is that the allegation by the Mueller report that Joseph Mifsud was of Russian intelligence is laughable. That's what we do know. And for an FBI investigation that cost millions and lasted years to make that assertion really is a complete joke. Hoping it's going to come to a head. Really, George Papadopoulos met Putin's niece. I know, Abdul. I know. That's what he said. He said this is Vladimir Putin's niece. And Mifsud was the guy who basically said to Papadopoulos, it was outside Liverpool station, I believe, the train station. He told him he said that the Russians had dirt on Clinton. And then it's alleged that Papadopoulos told Alexander Downer, an Australian diplomat with links to Hail Cult, which is an MI6 sort of spy operation. And he was wearing a wire at the time, Alexander Downer was, and apparently that's what started the whole Russia probe, because Papadopoulos told him what Mifsud had told him back in Liverpool. However, because it was an MI5 GCHQ, whatever it was, a spy operation, he was obviously wearing a wire. And Devon Nunes, who is a congressman in the US, and he's a congressman or senator on the House Intelligence Committee. I think he's a congressman. He has heard it, and he says what it contains exculpable evidence for George Papadopoulos. Now, remember, George Papadopoulos went to prison for 2 weeks. Or apparently allegedly lying to the FBI, which started this whole operation off. But Devon Nunes says, no, what's in that tape actually exculpable. It gets him off. So we'll see. My theory on George Papadopoulos is he's either extremely intelligent and informed and he's not telling us the whole story, or he is the luckiest idiot around. I don't think he's telling us the whole story, but I certainly don't think that Vladimir Putin installed Donald Trump as president, because that's what they've alleged for 3 years, remember. It's all going to come to a head. I'll do it I'll compile some extensive videos over the next few days and weeks on it. Do you think WikiLeaks has anything to drop? I don't know, Darren. I haven't heard anything. I would have thought at the moment. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I would have thought there's not much incentive for whistleblowers at the moment. Because let's face it, a whistleblower, your life's over at the moment. Look at what they've done to Chelsea Manning, and her sentence was commuted, remember. You know, they're still throwing her in prison and charging her $1,000 a day just because she won't won't testify against her own publisher. So it's they're trying to scare whistleblowers into not coming forward, and you know what? That might be working. The best chance for Assange is a Corbyn-led government, no Lib Dems nor Tories, says Dan Rise, ESP UK. I agree. The best chance for Assange is a Corbyn-led government. I just wish he would come out and say something more than he has, because this is something he could really use as a tool to bash Boris Johnson over the head with, and he's not. And I want to know why. I want to know what he's been told. I want to know why he won't use this tool. I want to know why. I want to know why. I want to know what's happened. I want to know what they've told him. I want to know why there's such a media blackout on the Assange reporting. I want to know why. I think I do. I'll do a video about that in the next couple of days as well. Oh. See what's just come through. Right. Thanks very much, everybody. I shall be back tomorrow with more videos. Stay cool, everybody. And yeah, be good to each other. Be good. Take care.